This is the Conrad Alert. Civil defense information will be broadcast at 6:40.
West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Y2K, how can we prepare?
Stop a few of their machines and radios. Throw them into darkness for a few hours.
We are fighting for our lives. My family must survive.
Over 5 years, 1,000 gallons of gas, air filtration, water filtration.
Coming at you from the frozen... Oh, wait a minute. I can't say that. Coming at you from North Dakota at the moment. This will be a live edition of Ramblings from the Road. This was a big hit last year, Mrs. Cook, wasn't it, when we were on the road? Last year, this time, we were in Daytona Beach and then on our way to Tennessee. So if anybody's out there, I see we've got somebody on so far. We probably should have done a test. We did bring our regular camera and a regular microphone, but we were on the laptop. So one step closer. If you can hear me okay out there, just give me a thumbs up so we know everything sounds reasonably good for a road trip. So, combining two things. I guess the Ramblings from the Road title came from last year when we would it was something like the Ramblings. I
don't think I was on any of the lives.
You weren't. I don't think I got you on any of them, but you were in the background making fun of me. I mean, saying hi, so. But yeah, I think, didn't we call last year something like Ramblings from the Road from a Crazy Canadian, or Canadian Ramblings from the Road about America, or something like that?
I can't remember.
It doesn't matter. So, hey, Carrie Brown, my brother from another mother, whom I'm going to see either Monday night or Tuesday. Can't wait to see you, brother. It's going to be good. We are going to have some fun time. We're going to go down and check out the land in Tennessee. And so the only thing missing tonight is the black background. And if we get creative enough or carried away enough, we may end up start packing that with us too. Hey, so
yeah, then you got to figure out how to hang it.
Hey, Hoss. Yeah, that's true. So anyway, we've had a hell of a trip so far. Oh my God.
Oh, we haven't made it very far.
No, we have not, but we're having a good day, Yeah. So first off, I went to the liquor store this evening and decided that it was time to pick up a couple of bottles. Well, one's whiskey, one's bourbon. One is probably I'm a sucker for punishment because I've wanted to try this for ages and it's not available in Canada. So I'm going to show you this one first. This one is definitely bottom shelf. It's called Mellow Gold. It is 100% corn whiskey.
No, mellow corn.
Mellow corn, sorry. Yes, mellow corn. 100% corn whiskey. And we're going to try that to start with. And it was, how much did he say it was a bottle?
$19.
$19.
It looks like vegetable oil.
And it kind of smells a bit like rubbing alcohol. So
gross.
It's all right. So we will try that. And then coming up in a little bit,
that's a lot, isn't it?
Is a brand new, this was quite a little get here. I don't know. I'm probably going to mispronounce this. Calumet Farm 15-year-old bourbon. So we'll try a little sip of that later once I ruin my palate with this. So should be good. So live reaction. If you're on audio, just picture some kind of weird face, but it smells sweet. I will give it that. So anyway, I know you didn't tune in for the Toolman Tim whiskey taste, but we're going to try Mellow Corn. Hey, Brian Alexovich. Good to have you, brother. It's not bad, actually. It's sweet. It burns. There's not a lot of flavor to it at all. It's not horrible. I don't mind it. It's definitely one step closer says, oh, smells like bad decisions. So anyway, just because I've turned into a bit of a whiskey geek or whatever, I don't know why. It's just, you know me, whatever I get into, I get interested in, right? And so this was the first I'd heard of that was 100% corn distilled. So I thought we'd give it a shot. And it's not as bad as I expected. Easy drinking for the price of it, that's for sure.
It smells.
I'll keep it over here, honey. Sorry.
Smell it all the way over here.
So how's everybody been out there? Let's start with the happenings on our road trip so far. Hey, Mrs. Cook. And just
it hasn't been much of a road trip yet.
No. We are officially 1/3 the way to Tennessee. Our plan was to go day one from Provost, our town, to Minot, North Dakota. Day two, Minot to Omaha. We were going to Kentucky. Could not get any of. Yeah, no worries. So any of the distilleries I wanted to get into were booked ahead. Now the guy said it's okay, you can drop in, check it out, whatever. Anyway, we're not going to take that chance. And it worked out for the better anyway, because what happened? What have we been dealing with that we shouldn't be on friggin' 420 and 421? Snow, yeah, of the sideways variety, right? Yeah. So anyway, we got on the road. We woke up yesterday morning, and it was a little dusting of snow, which is not horribly unusual for this time of year in the place where the air hurts your face, right? Not typically. However, we get on the road, and it was nice. There was no snow, right? Yeah. We got to Saskatoon. So, that's about 2.5 to 3 hours from where we were. 1 hour south of Saskatoon. So about 3.5 hours from where we were. We hit some shitty weather on our way to the capital. No, anyway, the funniest named city in all of Canada. Rhymes with vagina. Regina, Saskatchewan. Letty Lou, if you're listening to this episode, I know you said your man did not believe that's how it's pronounced. Unfortunately, the unfortunate name of the city is Regina. So halfway between Saskatoon and Regina, we hit the worst weather I've driven in all of Alberta. In 10 years, almost 10 years we've lived here. It was horrible, and it got worse as it went. It started as ice, then it was blowing snow, a bit of slush, and then zero visibility. And as we started hitting the nasty spots, I lost count or stopped counting at 7 semi-trucks in the ditch. And they all just had the same look on their face. Like they were all they're all on the phone with dispatch. None of them were hurt. They all just kind of slid the fuck right off the road. And it was, you felt bad for them, but they did,
A lot of them were driving like idiots.
Yes, thank you. They were overdriving the conditions, weren't they?
And that's nothing unusual for Alberta truck drivers either. So
no, it is not at all. So it was, it was bad. There was one. I just read the Lots Project comment in my head before I read it out loud, which might be good, but that is so true. Oh, so if anybody wants to read it, you can read it. But so weather was shitty, but there was only 1 or 2 trucks off the road. It was mostly transports. As we go along, it's getting slipperier, but I did good driving in it. I mean, I've driven in all kinds of shit, and we said at first we're like, we'll go one town to one town, right, babe?
Yeah.
Because up here, we kind of hopefully plan on 100. I usually set my cruise control to 109 kilometers an hour, so 9 kilometers over the speed limit. And then once you get between Saskatoon and Regina, it's 110 kilometers an hour. You can go to 119. We were down to about 40 to 50 kilometers an hour. It was atrocious, horrible. And we just kept putting along. But then the visibility got really, really bad. And all of a sudden we come up on this little, you got to understand what these little podunk prairie towns are like. They're not good. They're
shady.
Well, yeah. Anyway, so we'll tell you about that too.
Especially in Saskatchewan.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Yes, I know. Oh, sweet Jesus. It's bad. Yeah. So it goes from divided highway to single lane highway because they want both sides of the road to be serviced by the town. We start coming up, and all of a sudden we start seeing transport trucks, right? All on the sides of the road, mostly heading south. Most of the traffic coming north kept going. It was, I estimate 50 to 60 transport trucks close to it. Yeah. So one step closer said meth town full of skids. Every
little town in Saskatchewan
is exactly that. So it has let's see. It has a hotel that looks like it belongs in a early Christopher Nolan film.
No, looks like the buildings from The Last of Us.
Yes. Yep. It looks like it's about as new as some of the post-apocalyptic areas from The Last of Us.
And we're pretty sure hotel looked like it was hand painted with a paintbrush on the side of the building.
It was, yes.
Because remember I told you, I said, we're not stopping there because that looks sketchy.
Mm-hmm.
It looks, the only thing missing was the free puppies. Right?
Yeah. How many minutes in a Canadian hour? 100, Brian, just in case you're wondering. You should go without saying. We have a base 10 system. What else would we do up here? So, anyway. So we pull over. As we're coming up, it's getting thicker and thicker. The roads are starting to drift over, and the transports are backing up and up. So I pull in. I get in close to the store so that I'm out of the drift, so we're not, at least we're warm where we are. I mean, the weather, you wouldn't have froze to death. The weather was beautiful, but it was shitty. So we try to get one step closer. Says the missus didn't want to stay at the murder motel.
No, actually, he tried to convince me that we were going to stay there, and I told him, I said, no, we're not.
I didn't try to convince
Yes,
you.
did. Like,
I wanted you to be open to the idea.
I think we should go up there. I think we should. And I said, no, we're
So
not.
This is how it ended up. So
No.
we pull over, and I know at this point we're in a really bad spot. It'd be hard to get back on the road, and we're trying to figure out, is it going to get worse or is it going to get better, right? So we try to pull in information, right? We go on Google Maps, look at the line. So here's a little hint that we kind of knew before, but we never realized you could use it for weather conditions, right?
Yeah.
So if you get the GPS up, it will show you how fast the traffic is moving. Blue is normal, orange is so-so,
kinda.
and red is shady as shit, right?
Well, what sealed the deal for me, too, is when we went into that little gas station and the bathrooms were full of graffiti.
Yes, tell us about the bathrooms.
Oh,
Mrs.
they
Cook. They were bad.
Yeah, the restaurant, or well, had a Subway in it, but it was like smack dab in the middle of this store, and it looks like it hadn't been cleaned in a year. But the whole bathroom was just nothing but graffiti, and the doors didn't lock.
And when you say nothing, you literally, there was not an inch in either bathroom that wasn't covered in graffiti. Yeah. I've never seen anything like it.
That sealed the deal for me. And that's when I told you, I said, we're not staying at that hotel. I don't even care.
No.
So
and of course, this is all 100% because I took the snow brush out of the truck the night before when I was cleaning it. I'm like, oh, we won't need this. Boom, throw it out.
Because you know what would happen?
What's that?
We would have stayed at that hotel and we would have come out and the truck would have been up on cinder blocks.
And we would have had a case of bed bugs, probably. Yeah. I'd be like going to the local pharmacy. I'm like, I know normally on vacations I need like VD pills or something, but do you have anything for bed bugs? Because it's really bad.
Yeah, no.
So as we pull up, Becky goes in to the place. And this lady comes up next to me, and
it's like, who the hell is
just
that?
like, a lady in her late 50s, early 60s, Ontario plates, and she's like, Kenora, right? Is that where she was going to?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I need to get to Kenora today, and I'm thinking, now I'm not. I mean, in my head, of course, I'm like, okay, I'm not. I mean, I don't. Anyway, she was just She had that look of somebody who had no information, was in over their head, and didn't know what to do.
But
right?
she was like talking to you in some sort of a tone like you were supposed to fix it, or it was your fault that it was snowing.
Yeah, I was kind of worried she was going to ask to speak to my manager, to be honest.
Like I just got that tone from her. She's like, well, I've got to get there. And I was just like,
I don't know if she wanted us to offer her a drive, but
yeah,
we parked next door for a while. I went in, I talked to some truck drivers. They were coming kind of east-west and said it wasn't as bad. So we decided after we talked about it, and Mrs. Cook talked me into it because the thing I knew was we were safe where we were, right? I knew that, or at least, safe is a relative term. So we talked about it and we decided, we looked at the map and we said the next town was 30 kilometers?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we decided two things. We'll do what truckers do, just keep making miles, right? Just keep one foot in front of the other, and we'll try to get to the next town. Well, by the time we get to the next town, I think you kind of nodded. You were on your phone.
Yeah.
She didn't even know we went past it. And I'm like, I'm just going to keep going. And each town got a little bit better, a little bit better. The roads were fucking shit from there until halfway between Weyburn and Estevan.
Yeah.
So 6 hours roughly.
Yeah.
I know if you know the geography, it's a little off, but the amount of time we drove was around 6-ish hours. And we ended up, we did pretty good. It was supposed to be a 10-hour trip. We made it in 11 and a half hours, and that's including a border crossing, which was really good. So tip at the border, when you pull up, roll your front and back window down, take your keys out of your ignition, put them in your cup holder. Your day will be a little easier that way. And don't say one extra word, right? That's about all we can do.
No, but then we get to Minot.
Oh,
and
yes.
Then we go,
right. Yeah.
And then we go to the little diner the
one that I love.
The one that you love. And we're in there and they're like kind of rustling around and they're starting to clean and everything. And I said, well, what time do they close? Because I felt bad.
Mm-hmm.
And you said, no, they close at 8:30. And then she comes over and she goes, no, we're closing early because of the weather. Whew. And we're just like, oh no. And then I asked her, I'm like, is there something we don't know that you know? And she's like, yeah, there's a big storm coming. So we got back to the hotel and we decided that we were going to stay another night.
Well, yeah. So again, of course, me being the old man, I worry. Well, okay. First off, the first stupid ass mistake I made, and I won't do this again, was not looking at the weather further than an hour or two from our house when I just should have. I was excited that the weather looked good for where we were, and I thought we'll be good. If there's a possibility, you can't cry over spilled milk. But if we'd have went straight south in the morning and then across, we might have missed the weather. But anyway, I should have looked, but we didn't. So then I was kind of paranoid, and we watched the weather a bunch. We looked further south of us, and they were getting 15, 20 centimeters.
It's like James. Is it
Jamestown, I think.
Jamestown,
Yeah, we
I
might
think,
be wrong. It was anyway. They were supposed to get hammered, so we said we'd get up in the morning, look outside, and see whether we wanted to drive or not. We got up. It was shitty and nasty here, and we said, you know what? We're on vacation, so we decided to knock Tennessee over. And Brian says, I mean, you're only going to another country. Yeah, it's nothing serious,
But now there's not a stitch of snow on the ground.
No, by noon.
And it's all dry.
Yeah, by noon it was t-shirt weather, almost t-shirt weather. But I'm glad we didn't. We had a fuck the dog day, just kind of run around. And where'd we go? We went to
we went to the movies.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a few minutes. Went to the movies. Where'd we go to eat?
We just ate.
We ate at the food court at the mall. Yeah, and we had a great day. I went down, found that liquor store, which was fun. We just, we're on vacation, so we're gonna do what we want to do. It was, nothing prepper related, nothing content creator related. We just had a fun husband and wife day for a bit. You answered some phone calls from work, because you're a workaholic. No, I'm just kidding. And I think I've managed. I've been on the road for 24 hours. I rented the biggest. Our most expensive rental we take care of within 24 hours. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure we have our only other vacant rental that's coming up the end of the month, rent it. I haven't even been there to show them. So my guy's going to show them for us. But, I don't need to show the expensive one. He was an old tenant that was great, moved away for a few months, came back. And so that's the key, is having good relationships with people. Hey, Renegade Butcher. Should I call you Nate Petrowski? He's I don't know if you've ever seen the guy with the long beard on TikTok. He looks a lot like, I think he's copying Josh's look. So, and Brian wants to know, did we bring the dogs with us? No.
It's because you said fuck the dogs.
I did, yeah. There you go, Brian. That's for you. But yes, but somebody has a dog in this hotel. It's a nice hotel, and we were walking down.
Yeah, we never seen him though. We just heard him.
No, you could tell he was a bad dog. So yeah. So far it's been a good vacation.
Yeah.
So we went and watched, let me see. So what did we forget so I installed maps.me. Now, I don't have my email in front of me. I want to shout out to whoever it was that sent an email to Jack, who sent it to me to tell me about when I lost my data last time, that maps.me is a great offline map option. It uses the built-in GPS from your iPhone, but it doesn't require any data whatsoever. You just download the maps ahead of time. So I just went, point A to point B to point C. And then it's, depending on how long the trip is, it'll say, do you want to download these 3 maps and then these 5 and these 8 or whatever. And it was, I think, maybe 750 megabytes for all the maps to go from Provost, Alberta to Gordonsville, Tennessee. And we had it. Remember last night? Because we kind of figured when we crossed the border, jumping from one tower to the next, we would lose signal for a bit. And we did. So I just hooked up to the backup GPS, and it worked great. I loved it. It feels like a lower version of Google Maps, but it does what you need it to do. And I also took an old phone, charged it up, turned it off, and it's in our box too, in our glove box. So we had that. We did forget the female urinal. Remember, we were going to bring that. We didn't. I did remember to bring some of those. What are they, Porta-John bags?
I don't know. I didn't.
I know you haven't seen them yet.
No, we did pretty good with the bathrooms.
Oh, so, yeah. And I was also going to bring, Andy, if you're listening at some point, that Anchor extension cord. It's long and it has a ball in the end with a bunch of USBs. I had planned on bringing that to test on the trip, and you forgot to remind me.
Oh, yeah, so right.
It's usually your fault, right? And like I said, it was 100% my fault because I took out the snow brush. That's why we dealt with all the snow, right, darling? Went to Harbor Freight today, and I had to talk Becky out of buying at least 6 things. So we had a good time there. She was trying to come out with 3 generators and a gas-powered hole post digger, and I told her she'd have to wait till we got back to Canada, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, no, but I didn't. I didn't buy anything yet, did I?
Nope, because I told you we're not hauling it around.
Right. So, anybody out there right now until when does the sale end? The 24th?
The 23rd.
23rd. Oh, 23rd. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that so? 2 more days. So Sunday, Harbor Freight has their, what did they call it? Spring Black Friday?
Yeah.
It's really weird. So there's some pretty good deals on. Hey, Tori W., good to have you. That's Wandering Ma. We'll see her in Washington. So I wrote down a few interesting products I saw. First one is I'm going to pick this one up on the way back, but
Maybe.
it's a folding solar panel, 18 watts for $84.99. I don't know if anybody's tried it yet. It has 4 small panels, big enough you could hang it off a backpack while you're hiking. That kind of thing looks really good.
Somebody tell him it's garbage.
Shut up.
It's true. It's just like Princess Autos.
They've got anybody looking for a cheap inverter generator right now? One step closer. You're reading my notes. Look. Yes, I will say yes. One step closer says sales tax free weekend for generators in Texas this weekend. Yes, get out and buy some prepping gear, guys. I'll tell you about it. $379 for the 1400 watt inverter generator at Harbor Freight. I saw this is probably the one that Nate and Aaron use. It's a 10th horsepower electric pump, just plugs into the wall, and it takes a garden hose on either side. $65. Now, I wrote this down, saw it on Reddit. Reddit on the internet, Brian, you know how that goes. But these are Texas sales tax holiday this weekend. So April today, 22nd, 23rd, 24th. You can buy any generator under $3,000 is sales tax free this weekend. Emergency ladders and hurricane shutters. Never thought about hurricane shutters, but
what's the tax in Texas? Is it quite high?
One step closer. Does anybody know what the sales? I know somebody will. What is the sales tax in Texas right now? Because
is it actually worth it?
I think so. It's worth it enough that people. Now I could be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure Texas is one of those states that doesn't have a lot of eight and a quarter. Yeah, so $3,000. That'd be what, $240? You'd save a little bit better. Yeah, no, that's pretty good. Emergency ladders and hurricane shutters, anything under $300, tax-free, and then a whole bunch of other cool stuff. Axes, batteries, smoke detectors, first aid kits, mobile phone batteries. Any single item under $75 is tax-free as well. So,
and that's because their weather.
Yeah, so it's because hurricane season, I believe, starts June 1st. They also, Florida offers it at times. I think I read about 4 that offers it at any given time. So that's not bad. That's it. So they don't pay any state income tax.
Okay.
But they have a sales tax, which of course us as anarchists like that, because then you get to choose whether you want to be taxed or not, in a sense, right?
Canada, so we pay both.
Oh, we pay everything. They get you coming, going, and then they're like, hey, did you like that? Have some more.
Yeah.
Renegade
and a
says,
carbon tax.
No income tax, but sales tax can be high depending. So that makes sense.
Well, we pay sales tax, carbon tax.
What did they just add to our gas?
It was carbon tax.
Is it 4 cents? I think it's more than 4 cents, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know. It's expensive.
Yeah, so they just added another, I guess 4 or 5 cents per liter, which works out to fucking.
Well, it was $1.62.
Yeah, so that would work out to what, another 20 cents per gallon tax. It's Save the Turtles tax, I think, this time. Or
no, it's Justin Trudeau tax.
It's to pay for his new vacation, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I forget exactly.
The $80,000 worth of security.
Yeah, they're running him through the ringer on that, aren't they? So I gotta say, this mellow corn has a little punch, but it's not bad. One Step says Tennessee is similar to. It's why it's one of the few states I'd move to. Texas tax on an additional tax on my cell phone bill too.
Well,
sorry, Renegade.
Our power and gas bill gets the carbon tax now, which jumps it up. Geez, I could bring up an old bill when you're talking there.
Yeah, so it came, a lot, didn't it? It's a shame.
I'll find out how much it is.
Yeah, that's all right. So I've picked up 2 or 3 news stories the last few days. I thought I'd at least run through 1 or 2 of them with you, Mrs. Cook, and we can do a Stranger Than Fiction section as well. So they're not, but so of course this is one of those news stories that everybody's been talking about, or one of. But did you guys hear about I don't know all the ins and the outs of it, but the Texas cheerleaders that were shot after they got into the wrong car? So if you haven't, it's an interesting story. And whether the gentleman who did the shooting was right or wrong, I think it's more interesting to Palm Tree just told me on Telegram to listen to the missus. She's correct. Don't buy solar panels from Harbor Freight. See that? Man,
thank you.
Guys, getting everybody to bust my balls. So,
okay, well, just to interrupt.
Yeah, go ahead, baby.
So On our power and gas bill, we have the three properties, and just for our bill, the new carbon tax that Justin Trudeau, it has raised our bill $275, and that is just in the federal carbon tax.
Are you serious?
Yep.
200. It's a 2-month bill.
That's a 1-month bill.
And what's our normal bill? Yeah, I know. I don't know our own bill, right?
We'll see
okay.
For our house here, which this is our address, right?
Yep. Yeah.
No, this is Mackenzie's address.
All right.
His federal carbon tax was $133.31.
Holy shit, 130! I don't even want to see it.
Yeah, and then this is for our house. Our house was $82.
82. So there's 210 right there that we're paying to the government to cure climate change.
And then the trailer was 50.
50, and that there's nobody living there right now. We paid $50 for an empty property.
So $275 just in carbon tax.
And that's been a gradual increase, right? Yeah, it went from half to double. Anyway, fine.
And that's on top of
we don't pay GST in Alberta.
No,
but
we pay our PST.
Oh no, we do. We pay GST, not
GST, not PST.
Tax.
But that's on top of your other taxes.
Yeah. Oh my God. See, you just get one step closer. Says ouch. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You wonder why we bought land intended. Anyway, so
we should do a rundown with these bills at some point.
We will.
So people can see how ridiculous ours are.
Yeah, not a pity party. Just so you know how much it costs.
No, just what Justin Trudeau is doing to us.
The People's Republic of Canada, right? You know,
it's just him.
People's Republic of Kanakistan. Yeah, I don't understand. I know I'm preaching to the choir out there, but I hope we all know that it is 100% impossible to tax a nation into prosperity, because all it does is the more you tax, the more you shut businesses down. I know we all know it. Shut up, Tim, but I know it. And it just makes me so mad. And at least I can share it here, because it is literally impossible to raise the cost of something and make everybody more prosperous. It just doesn't work. But some people seem to think it will. So, Texas cheerleader shot after one says she got in the wrong car. A man shot and wounded 2 cheerleaders in a Texas supermarket parking lot after one of them said she mistakenly got into his car thinking it was her own. The latest in a string of recent U.S. shootings, apparently sparked by someone showing up at the wrong place. Ever gotten into the wrong car before, baby?
Not actually into it,
but
I've walked and... Yeah.
I've opened the wrong car door before, and I was on vacation with mom and dad. I think it was the last year we went as a family vacation, so maybe 21, 22. We were at a motel, and I walked back to the motel, and I went right into the wrong room. There was nobody in there, but I seen wine on top of the car, on top of the fridge, and I'm like, "What the hell's going on?"
You did that in New Brunswick.
Oh no, that was different. But hang on, I'll tell you about that. That wasn't my fault. That wasn't. But
but that was funny.
Yeah, I just walked into the wrong one, and I turned, because my parents don't drink. I didn't know what was going on. Yeah, and then one time we were in Edmundston, middle of the night. We go in. This is in New Brunswick, but all they speak is French there. I somehow managed to get a room rented. The lady gives me the key. We go walk into the room.
You did.
I walk into the room, barge right in, and there's an old man and an old woman laying in bed.
Let's elaborate a little bit. So anything that Mr. Cook does here is not. It's like a bull in a china shop. So his barging is not barging. His is like basically plowing through the door, and he scared the shit out of these 2 old people. I like,
and they're like hollering.
Stop! He just rams right through.
They probably figured somebody was coming to murder him, right?
Yeah, because you don't do anything carefully at all.
And hey, Chicken Hawk, good to have you. Says he says I love paying taxes. Renegade says if you print enough money, taxes don't matter. Very good point, Renegade, because at that point we devalue the current. Anyway, the currency so much. Tommy D says he's done that with his friend's car. The woman was as shocked as I was. So the reason I asked that is it's a fairly common occurrence that it's pretty easy to walk into the wrong, maybe not wrong apartment, but wrong hotel room or the wrong car. The shooting in Elgin, east of Austin, happened early Tuesday in a grocery store parking lot that serves as a carpool pickup spot for the members of the cheer company. Heather Roth, one of 4 team members transferring rides into the lot after practices, said she got out of her friend's car and into a car she thought was hers, but there was a stranger in the passenger seat. She said she panicked, got back into her friend's car. Okay, so this is the next part of the story. She gets into the wrong car, scared shitless because there's some dude in the car. doesn't realize at this point it's still not her car. Either way, these are the facts. We know this has happened. She got into the wrong car, she got out of the wrong car, and ran back to her friend's car. Now, that should be the end of the incident. If you are and I'm going to say it, if you are a conscientious firearms carrier, no matter what, that should be the end of it. Because, if you go in, to tactical response and you watch the video with James Jagger, he says you win every fight you don't have to take, right? So that should have been the end of it, right? Anyway, Chicken Hawk says, had a guy get into my car before I grabbed my gun but didn't shoot him. He was glad I didn't. He apologized, got out, and his wife's car was the same color. It was a mistake. Exactly. And that's where it ended, right, Hawk? One Step Closer says, since most cars are the same 2 or 3 colors, I could see it happening. Renegade says, next time you bust through the door like the Kool-Aid man, yell, I'm the Tool Man. You're about to get cooked. Oh, yeah.
That's why I always joke with you, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, anyway, no matter what, at this point, this girl is retreating or backing up. She left. So, at that point, Heather Roth, one of the transferring, she said she panicked, got back into her friend's car, but the man got out of his vehicle and approached. She said she tried to apologize through her friend's car window, but the man threw up his hands, in other words, got pissed off, pulled out a gun, and opened fire. Yeah, this is it.
Okay.
Roth was grazed by a bullet, was treated at the scene, police said. Her teammate Peyton, 18, was shot in the leg and the back. Peyton opens the door, starts throwing up blood. Washington was flown to a hospital in critical condition. Doctors had to remove her spleen. Police arrested a suspect, 25-year-old Pedro Rodriguez Jr., who is charged with engaging in deadly conduct, a third-degree felony. Online court records do not list an attorney for him. How crazy is that?
That sounds like that's road rage.
Yeah, it's road rage or it's some messed up son of a bitch that shouldn't have a gun or because what he did was wrong. But how do we know that's exactly went down? Sure. Right? I get it because at this point we're only hearing the one side of the story.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
no, even if she was sitting in her car and lipping off and calling him every name in the book, it doesn't mean that he gets to pull out a gun.
Right.
Like, that's stupid.
Because I'm guessing, who knows? She probably, if I was maybe I'd be scared, but I got my friend there. Maybe I'm going to lip off a little bit because the guy's probably a dick at this point, right? Yeah. It should have ended when he threw his hands up in the air and went the fuck back. If he had a problem, he should have called the cops, right?
Yeah. Or just get in your car and leave.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Renegade, that's exactly what I was thinking as well. So Renegade says, and the actions prove it. He says he was probably a dumb gangbanger. And, in his 20s, very possible. The fact that he got mad and pulled a gun. It'll be interesting to see where the facts shake out on this. Because to me, I'm going to guess it was probably an illegal firearm. And that's what I thought too, Chicken Hawk. Chicken Hawk says it sounds like attempted murder. Mm-hmm. And because I'm 100% sure Texas is a stand your ground state, which means now, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, because I'm just a little old Canadian. But what that basically means is if somebody comes to your door or to your vehicle and tries to assault you or whatever, you can use as much force as is necessary to get rid of them, dispatch them. That doesn't mean you get to chase them down to their vehicle, right? So,
but what? Okay,
no, it's okay. Go ahead.
So if he's a gangbanger,
might be. We don't know.
Might be.
Yep.
What? If you get into someone's car,
right?
Why would you run so quick back to the other car?
Maybe he looked like a gangbanger.
That, or maybe she was buying drugs.
Shit. All right. Right. Now you're going to start a rumor. Never thought of that.
Maybe she was buying drugs. Maybe she didn't have the money to pay for the drugs that he gave her. Maybe she stole the drugs. Right. Maybe he approached the car and said, hey, you owe me some money for the drugs you just stole from me. Maybe she told him to go pound sand. Did she deserve to get shot? Absolutely not.
I thought you were going to come out different on this one. This is fun. I never thought of that. Because
like these one-sided stories where you get, and you hate to categorize them, but between 16 and 23-year-old girls right now, they're so entitled and they're so woe is me and everybody's against them. And like, you don't even know what to believe anymore, right? Like,
Yeah, that is true. Renegade
like,
Butcher had a good one there. So.
yeah. So like, but like, you just don't know. And I am pretty sure there's going to be a lot more to that story than what.
So here's what happens. And the reason I read this one to you is because it's an interesting story. It's one of those that brings up conversation, which I enjoy. However, if you've noticed, the media right now, from what I've seen, there's 4 or 5 stories where they're talking about somebody went to the wrong neighborhood, the wrong house, the wrong car, and ended up getting shot. Now, whatever you want to think about it, it's a pattern that they're pushing.
It is a pattern, but if this is a communal pickup and drop off point for a whole bunch of like between 18 and early 20-something year olds, right? And there's like some sort of gangbanger guy looking there. He's obviously selling something to these people that are there.
Mrs. Cook, you are a smart woman. I'm not saying this is the case, but boy, that really does me.
Because why else? Like, like if you sold drugs, and who's going to be your main clientele?
Teenage,
16 to 20-something year old people.
Teenage to college
age. So obviously
kids.
He's already automatically parked there, right? So I'm maybe she owed him money.
And maybe that's why, here's the deal. Maybe that's why the charge isn't as, who knows?
Right?
It will absolutely, we're buying something, wink, wink. Yeah, Tori says Becky's on a roll with this one. Well, guys, this used to be known as the Toolman Tim Workshop Podcast.
But it's true, though, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, if you look at all these 20-something, like they're all...
Brian says drug users would be his clientele. Well, that is true.
It is true, but, like, but why else would he be parked there?
Yes.
If it's, like, a carpool area, he's obviously there selling something. And I bet you it's going to come out that they've known each other for a while. She's probably owes him money, probably stole something from him, and he just basically, maybe he had enough of her shit.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean she deserved to get shot. Nobody ever deserves that.
Yes. And you are right. So here's the deal. And this, when it comes down to it, if he followed her, he's in the wrong. And Chicken Hawk's 100. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and I don't think, you're not saying he was in the right. You're just saying that there may be more to the story.
No, he's never going to be in the right.
Right.
But it, playing the devil's advocate with,
sure,
if you, Chicken Hawk, if you were selling something to somebody and they came into your vehicle and they stole something, or they owed you money, and they just get up and they run to their friend's vehicle, you're going to follow them, right? Because they owe you money.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and
so, and maybe he's been after her for a while.
Right? And that, it's funny because I brought this up as a conversation about being smart and staying out of a fight, but I never even thought about this side. Oh boy, someone, what's that? Says Chicken Hawk says someone's been watching Lifetime again, like the Lifetime. I'm guessing the channel, the Lifetime movies.
I've never watched that.
It's like,
I watch true crime.
It's like Hallmark, kind of.
Oh no,
it's like based on true story crime movies and stuff. I think.
No, actually, I don't even watch. No, watch those. No.
He was her pimp. Oh my God! Now we're just going to start all kinds of rumors, Brian.
No, you don't know.
Yes, I know. You're right. Who knows, right?
Maybe she owed him money.
That could be.
And if somebody owes me money and they're running from me, I'm going to go after them.
You can throw your hands up and shoot them multiple times. No. You did that to me once, but that's another story.
No, but if somebody owes you money, you're going to go after them.
Sure,
right?
that is true. And if I'm somebody who is of a less than reputable moral position, I might just have a gun on me, and I might get pissed off and shake my hands and then shoot at her.
Yeah, and you know what though? And cheerleaders, they're not really good at people.
Maybe not.
They're really not. I knew some cheerleaders in high school, and they were assholes.
Lot says, "Bitch, give me my money." Well, we're gonna get canceled tonight. Yeah, no, but yeah. So anyway, that's good point. This is why I bring her. She's not just good looks; she's also brains. So there we are. Yeah.
Well, that's what I would call on it.
I guess from now on, you'll be the brains and I'll be the good looks.
You'll have to follow that story. I bet you it's going to come out that she's a druggie and she owed him money.
I love to follow up on these stories. The problem is half the time they report this shit, and then if something that doesn't necessarily follow
then
suit,
you won't hear any more about it, right? Because they're gonna be the perfect cheerleader.
Yep.
Was a meth head and owed money, and
they're not gonna. Yeah, I mean somebody might, but they'll just call it, and It's like the story that one of the very first ones we did about the underground bomb shelter or the that they built under the RV. I can't find any more information about it. So Lots Project said she fucked around and found out. Oh, she needed the money. Yep. And yeah. So, right, it is. So how about a more lighthearted story for the next one? This is a good one. Becky knows more about illegal drug deals than I. Yeah, you're right, Josh. Yeah, you know a lot about illegal drug deals, don't you?
I do. No, I don't sell them. I don't.
Yes.
I do know people, though.
So this is one that'll take you down the nostalgic memory lane. Netflix to bring down the curtain on its DVD by mail service. Raise your hand if you knew that Netflix still sent DVDs out in the mail.
Raise your hand if you still have a DVD player hooked up to your television.
This could also be Blu-ray, I'm sure, but physical media. Who knew that it was still a thing? Here we go. Tori W. says, in my town, there's a Facebook page that reports what they hear on the police radio. Relatives and friends, usually come in and give up the deets of what actually happened. Okay, that's, fair enough. Maybe they offer a little
it's like cash Tim's nan used to sit around and listen to a police scanner. So
yep, she would listen to the police scanner. She would sit in her window right next to her wall phone, and she'd call her friends to let them know, and she'd watch to see where they'd go. Because we were on the same street as the police station. She couldn't see the police station, but she could see which direction the cops went if they were heading out, right? So One Step Closer says, I still have a DVD player and a record player. Don't judge me. I have a record player.
You have a record player.
Yeah.
Well, we have DVDs, but we haven't had a DVD or Blu-ray player hooked up for, probably better part of 3 or 4 years. Even longer.
We gave all of our physical media to our son.
Well, there's still some in the fireplace. That
okay.
We have to give those to him.
Yeah. So I guess we'd have to borrow his if the shit ever really hit the fan. But So Chicken Hawk says, wow, mind blown. And Tori says, I'm hooking up my DVD this weekend because my dumbass bought a box set of Fast and the Furious. There's 2 things wrong with that, Tori.
Yeah, Fast and the Furious.
First you bought DVDs. Although, okay, I'll give you this. At least it's a prep that you could probably trade for drugs in a post-apocalyptic scenario, because all the bros would really love to trade that for pills or something, right? But no, I'm just kidding. My brother-in-law loves Fast and the Furious, so I'm just busting your balls, Tori. It's okay.
I can't believe they made another one.
What is this? Fast 10-year seatbelts?
I don't know. It's the only thing Vin Diesel can do.
Yeah, I don't know. I always try to come up with what they're going to call it. So, the 13-year-old wanted the set. It's okay. Yes, that's cool. I can understand that. Brother-in-law is 42, but no. I like the first one. I liked Paul Walker, and
the first one, that was it. Yeah.
In 2001, I was a Vin Diesel fan too for about 2.5 years, and then, So Netflix is poised to shut down the DVD by mail rental service that set the stage for its trailblazing video streaming service, ending an era that began a quarter century ago when delivering discs through the mail was considered a revolutionary concept. Do you remember when DVD through mail first came out? Was that ever a thing for you?
No, but I remember buying the DVDs from Columbia House.
All right.
I think I'm still paying them off.
Yeah. So did you guys have... They probably had Columbia House in the States, right?
I think it started in the States, didn't it?
Yeah, because we had BMG as well.
It was 8 DVDs for a penny.
Yeah, 8 DVD. Well, no, back when I did it, it was 8 cassettes or 8 VHS tapes for $1.
I never got the VHSs. It was 8 CDs or 8 DVDs for a penny. But then you read the little tiny fine print, but which your stupid 14-year-old ass won't do.
Didn't care about. Yeah.
Now that you have to buy 6 more DVDs at full price every month.
And the dreaded words, selection of the month.
And if you didn't like it, you only had a certain amount of time to send it back, or they'd bill you for it.
So if for those out there, Renegades is still playing for that imported Columbia contraband. Oh, somebody lost audio? I think everybody still got audio out there, I think. Yeah. So, okay, Tori says, yes, we had Columbia House and BMG. Probably still have some BMG discs still. So for those, let's see, who would be out there? Carson would be out there. Anyway, there's a few out there who are fairly young. Clark would be out there who definitely wouldn't have a clue what we're talking about. The whole thing was a scam or a scheme.
Oh, yeah.
But on both ends, we both scammed each other. So,
but then they would and the funny part is though, is that you could make up names.
Sure.
And use the same address.
IP freely at PO Box 1234.
And then they tried to call you and threaten you. They're like, oh, we're going to put it on your credit bureau. And you're like, I'm 14.
Yeah.
What are you going to put on what credit bureau? Right?
So you'd get eight. Well, for instance, it was like 8 cassettes.
Yeah.
And I remember, so it was like, I got like Hootie and the Blowfish, Offspring, Green Day, Nirvana, Unplugged. Anyway, got a bunch.
I got Ace of Base.
Ace of Base.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And then I took, then one time I ended up an entire, I went on a country binge. So I got like Joe Diffie and John Michael Montgomery, David Lee Murphy, a couple of Garth Brooks, So then you were supposed to buy, like you said, 6 more. Mm-hmm. And what they would do is they would send you the selection of the month. You'd have 30 days to send it back, but it would take 15 days to get to you. Mm-hmm. Then it would sit on your kitchen counter for 20 days thinking you'd send it back.
Well, because you're 13, 14, I didn't even have a sweet clue how to send anything back.
Right.
Like, I didn't know, like, you had to take it to the post office.
Yeah.
And if you had no way to the post office, because my parents never drove me.
Do you remember, did we have to pay shipping to return it, or did it come? I think it was postage paid, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it had a prepaid.
But we still didn't know. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't have a sweet clue how to return anything.
Renegade says it was the AOL scam of music. The best part was, if you didn't return it, they would charge you full price plus shipping. It was like $78.95 for a $12 cassette. So they made your money back, and then they'd send it to collections or whatever. And you're like,
but how are you going to do collections? Like, I made up, I don't know how many names. I had like,
because they'd call and they'd be like, hello, I'd like to speak to Mr. Freely, please. First name IP. And you're like, yeah, have a good day.
Yeah, like I had all kinds of made up names. So,
and Lot says, did anybody ever return them? And Byron says, my dog had a Columbia House account.
I used my cat's name.
Sure.
Because I had a Charlie and I had a Moses.
Yes, you did.
We get a box that said Moses Cooper. And my mom's like, what the hell is this? And open it up, it's a whole bunch of DVDs.
Well, and that was,
and he was our cat, by the way.
And my parents had no clue how it worked. They're like, how do you get these? I'm like, oh, I think they're free.
No, the thing is, so I would tell my dad.
Sure. Rebecca, how do you do this?
Well, he goes, well, what are those? I said, oh, you get them free, Dad. And then, of course, my dad had a whole book of fake names. He had a whole DVD library. So,
do you think someday maybe we'll do an episode where you share stories
about my dad?
Would you do that or not? Yeah. Anyway, not tonight, but we will. We'll
just a little tidbit of it. My dad was like your ultimate con man.
He was an absolute con man. He's been passed for.
He died in 2011.
Yeah, so 12 years now, almost 12. It'll be
July will be 12 years. Yeah.
So we will. I think it's the statute of limitations and all his crimes has passed. So
well, he never went to jail.
No, never. People just got tired of having him around. So So Netflix is poised to shut it down. The DVD service, which still delivers film and TV shows in the red and white envelopes that once served as a Netflix emblem, is going to mail its final discs on September 29th. Netflix ended March with 232 million subscribers worldwide. It stopped disclosing how many people still pay for DVD by mail delivery years ago. The DVD service generated $145 million in revenue last year. That's not bad. That's revenue, though. It doesn't say that's not profit, which translated into somewhere between 1.1 and 1.3 million subscribers. So that means that 1.2 million people signed up for this 10 years ago, forgot about it on their credit card, and haven't had it canceled since. That's my no.
Were we in Florida last year where they still had those red boxes?
Yeah,
the DVDs.
Yep. No, it was in Tennessee. It was in Gordonsville.
We went into they had Walmart. A red box.
Yeah.
I don't think Canada has those anymore.
The last I saw were in Lloydminster. I think there was one for a little while at Walmart there, but it's long gone.
And we all took a picture off topic, but when we were in England, they had payphones.
No shit.
Everywhere.
I saw one in one of those crackdowns in Saskatchewan yesterday, but it looked like you'd get something else there.
No, but they had payphones they had 4 or 5 of them every corner.
Well, that explains why Superman's still over there and we don't see him here. He can't get changed anymore. He has to go to England to change. So
we don't have any payphones in Alberta anymore, I don't think. I think they're all gone.
Shortly before Netflix broke it off from video streaming in 2011, the DVD by mail service boasted more than 16 million subscribers. The number has steadily dwindled. No shit. But the DVD by mail service still has its diehard fans who continue to subscribe because they treasure finding obscure movies that aren't widely available on streaming. Many subscribers still wax nostalgic opening their mailbox, blah, blah. Yep. The iconic red envelopes changed the way people watch shows and movies at home. The service history dates back, you guys, anybody want to feel old yet? To 1997.
That's when Mackenzie was born.
Yes. So our son is as old as Netflix DVD through the mail. So when Netflix co-founder Mark Randolph went to a post office in Santa Cruz, California, to mail a Patsy Cline compact disc to his friend and fellow co-founder Reed Hastings, Netflix original CEO wanted to test whether a disc could be delivered through the U.S. Postal Service without it being damaged. The Patsy Cline CD arrived at Hastings' home unblemished, prompting the duo in 1998 to launch a DVD by mail rental website that they always knew would be supplanted by even more convenient technology. They call it a planned obsolescence. If you don't know, it's basically something that was designed to eventually wear out. It was a stopgap measure. They're like, we know at some point we're going to be able to stream this on the internet, but until then, we're going to do this. And yeah, it was cool. Kind of a side note to this. About a week ago, just before we left, our local liquor store and water store, so it's called Damn Good Water on one side and Damn Good Liquor on the other, they started doing renovations. They fixed the whole front and they wrapped just around the sides one sheet of metal. And on the east side, the one sheet of metal finally covered the DVD video drop box for the old video rental store. Yeah. The last relic of rental store in Provost. Yep. So it's gone. They tore it out, covered it over, never to be seen again, right? So you have water stores. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So people go there and fill up their 5-gallon jugs, or it'd just be like the Culligan Man. You guys, the Culligan Man in the States.
Well, and we have to in
our water.
Our water is really bad in Provost because it's a prairie town. So they have water towers, but I think it's pretty much every Sunday the water has like a really strong bleachy smell because they're always treating it, and the calcium is really high in it.
Horrible. Yeah, horrible.
It like eats the pipes and stuff. So.
Oh, it's bad.
Yeah.
What else did we have tonight? Oh, yeah. This one's kind of cool too. This is the last news story I had. I don't know if you know about this one, baby, or not, but anybody out there know the concept of a gravity battery? Because I'm super intrigued by them. You ever heard of a gravity battery? I've probably told you about them and you've blanked out at some point. So
I blank it out all the time.
Yeah. So Renegade Butcher says you can buy water, just never seen a dedicated store. So it came from a service to the oil patch, just in case One Step says they have drive-up automatic water kiosks here and there. So the local guy used to deliver water by it's like a small oil truck, right? He used to deliver to...
Well, it's a water truck.
Yeah, a water truck. Clean, potable water that he would take out to rigs to drink and wash and everything like that. So they're like, hey, can you deliver us drinkable 5-gallon water jugs? And he's like, well, yes, I can, because I love money. And he's good. He's into everything. He's Al, right?
Yeah, Al.
Yeah, awesome entrepreneur. Him and his wife, they have, I don't even know how many businesses they're in. So this spun out of his existing oil business that he looked after. So he'd go out and they'd be like, yeah, can you? And so he would take 5-gallon jugs and charge them 2 or 3 times what residential would pay, because it was delivered and it was the oil patch and nobody cared. So then people are like, hey, you deliver water to the oil. Can I buy water from you? And he's like, sure, we'll start a delivery service. So my brother-in-law worked for him. They would take the water to people's houses. For some reason, some people wanted to be able to come and buy it directly instead of having it delivered to save a little bit of money. So he set that up. He was in the same building as a liquor store. The guy wanted to retire, so we bought that. Now he has damn good liquor, damn good water. So yeah. And a bunch of other businesses too. So we're trying to catch up to him, right?
I'm not sure what else he's into, but I know it's quite a bit.
Well, he buys, restores, and sells antique vehicles. Okay. He has a big, what would you call industrial, not office, like an oil building out there that he rents out to another company. Okay. And then he also runs oil traffic for another company. So yeah, smart man. Absolutely. Why not? Because geez. And so he bought all the filtration equipment and the water's good, you know, but you pay for it. So yeah.
It's not really that bad. It's like
$5 a jug?
$7, I think.
$7? Okay.
Yeah.
But it's delivered to home, right? So scientists propose turning abandoned mines into super efficient gravity batteries. If anybody out there knows about gravity batteries, or if you happen to know where they're installing one, just throw it in the comments because I think this is really cool. A team from the IIASA has developed a plan to create a network of super efficient gravity batteries that could store tens of terawatts of hours of power. So if you guys don't know what gravity batteries are, they are, I want to say I first heard the concept from Stephen Harris. They've got to be one of the most simple process that I've ever heard of. They're a way to store renewable energies and use them when the renewable energies aren't working. So when it's cold, when it's dark, when it's dead still, that sort of stuff. So the sun isn't always shining. The wind isn't always blowing. Worst of all, our ability to store that energy for the cold, still nights is still woefully inadequate. Storage, right? Batteries are damned expensive. So what if you could make batteries out of great big buckets of dirt? Think it's possible? It's kind of interesting. Hey, Jake, we're going to see him next month in Washington. He'll be there, Ravenwood Acres. Good dude. I like Jake a lot. So there may be a solution, and it's not a fancy new technology. It's a new take on something decades old. A team from the IIASA has developed a plan to create a network of super efficient gravity batteries. Yes, humanity has been harnessing small amounts of energy from gravity for centuries. Technically, the pendulum clock is a gravity battery. Whatever. Yep. In the 20th century, scientists developed pumped storage hydroelectricity. So in certain towns, in certain communities, if they have the right combination of lots of access to water and high land where they can store the water, what they would do is when the water was flowing, they would use that hydroelectricity to pump the water way up the hill, store it, and then when it was released, the gravity pulling the water down would then charge whatever they needed. So you're pumping a mass of some sort up when you have the energy, releasing it to use that energy later on. Apparently, it's something that's been done for a long time. So anyway, a universal gravity, what is it? UGES. Anyway, a gravity battery stores energy when it's plentiful. For example, when the sun is shining on a solar power plant, a heavy container of sand or rocks would be suspended in the previously abandoned mine shaft. So this is what you would use, an electric motor raising it to the top. So you'd have a great big ass bucket of rocks at the bottom of a mine shaft, right? When the sun's shining, the solar panels would, instead of having a battery, would turn a crank, raise that big pile of rocks all the way to the top of the mine shaft. As long as the bucket remains at the top of the shaft, the energy isn't going anywhere. When power generation drops, the grid can harvest power from the gravity battery by letting the vessel drop back down. So you're storing battery power using mass and gravity. It's one of the most interesting things I've heard. The gravity battery could use regenerative brakes on the cabling, similar to the way electric cars extend the range when you apply the brakes. Unlike batteries, all of which lose power via self-discharge over long periods of time. So you would have the cheapest batteries in the world, 100% charge for infinite, as long as the strings don't break. I think it'd be a pretty cool way. What do you think, Mrs. Cook? Not interested at all?
No.
Yeah, I know. I love battery technology. I wonder how a person could use that.
I'm trying to stay awake.
Come on now. Everybody out there loves battery technology. There's so many new batteries.
I have no interest in batteries. That's just you.
So Renegade, there is a company in your area that's building a 400-foot tower or something like that. And what they're going to do is big, I don't know if they're going to use bricks or containers full of dirt, and they're going to crank them all the way up during the day using solar or wind power, store them on the roof, and then drop them down. And the amount of power that they can store, to me, is pretty interesting. So what do you think of that, Mrs. Cook? You don't like it at all. How can you not like that? Just going to sit there and laugh at me, aren't you?
Yep.
I think it's cool. So
no, it's a cool concept.
It's an old-fashioned way of storing power that requires not much. The most expensive part of any energy storage is the battery. So if you can make it out of found materials.
And who's doing this?
Well, there's one in China, there's one in Texas, and it's been something for a long time. There's a few different towns across the continent that use stored hydroelectric power. So they'll throw the water up.
So is this a government make work project?
Nope, these are private companies this time. So one step closer says when When do we build one for your place in Tennessee? Oh, man, yes, there we go. We will do a gravity battery build workshop. So what it'll do is we'll all learn how to build a gravity battery, and we'll also we'll do work on the property while we're at it, right? And Renegade says, reminds me of my idea of using inline hydro turbine in the water towers. Yeah, why not? I want to say it might be Massachusetts. They've been starting to put inline turbines in the sewer and water pipes. So when the water goes through, spin, 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 make power. You know, Annapolis, So in Annapolis, the Annapolis River, at least from my understanding, there's a place where the Annapolis Basin, so that's the part of the Bay of Fundy that has the world's highest tides, meets the Annapolis River. Right there, they built a great big dike. That word always makes me laugh. Why? Because I'm a little kid. So anyway, they built one, and they put I think at the time, the only tidal hydro-powered generator. And when they did it, guys, they only made it operational one way. So when the tide comes in, spins the turbine, creates power. When the tide goes back out, they didn't bother to make it work both directions. Stupid, right? Yeah. Renegade Butcher says it's the grown-up version of Home Alone with the paint buckets on a string. Exactly. See, Renegade gets it. Exactly. A classic Christmas movie. Yes. And but yeah, that's a perfect concept. That way to dumb the concept down, Renegade. You did great there, brother. But yeah, no. So it'd be an interesting concept. I can't see the practical side of it for a household. No. I don't know. But yeah, there's some interesting. Sean Mills will be at LFTN. I'm going to ask him about gravity batteries and see what he thinks. So Renegade Butcher says something that I don't think I'll probably read out loud on the live stream. So shall I try a sip of my 15-year-old bourbon? Or do you think my taste buds are completely ruined from this?
Vegetable oil?
Vegetable oil, yes.
Nah, I think you'll be fine.
All right, so we're going to open up this. Oh, I'm going to sound like an idiot. Calumet? I don't know. 15-year single rack black Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, 105 proof, 52.5 alcohol, batch size out of 19 barrels. So Renegade says he's good at making things dumb. I'm just busting your balls, Renegade. So let's give this a go. So what's our plans tomorrow, hun? Where are we going?
I think we're supposed to hit Omaha.
Yes, we're gonna hit Omaha. We're gonna hop on the road early. We're gonna 6:30. We're gonna have breakfast, which really means this is how it goes. In case anybody wants to know, this is just how it goes, guys. So we're gonna hop in the car early in the morning, way earlier than most people would like to get on the road. I'm gonna drive, and my co-pilot is probably gonna sleep for a while. She'll bring her pillow. She'll wake up just in time to see something on the side of the road that isn't there, scare the shit out of me, and say, "Look out for that moose!" And it's a fence because she's been awake for 3 minutes. She'll fall back to sleep, and in 20 minutes, wake up again and tell me that transport truck 100 yards in front of me is slowly slowing down and making a turn, which I already saw. And then after that, we'll have a good trip, won't we? So let's give this a go here. Let's see.
Oh, it's a cork.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's whiskey. Has a screw, yeah. Smooth. I'm a little stuffed up, but let's see here. Let's dump it in. We're going to add a little ice. A lot darker. Barrel aged for 15 years. You know what makes a bourbon a bourbon? 51% corn in the mash, and it has to be aged in new charred oak barrels. That's it. Oh, and it has to be done in the United States. So let's try it here. Yeah, let's see the color. Look how dark that is. Oh, wow. It's going to sound funny because I don't know if, it tastes like barbecue at the end.
Oh, gross.
No, it's good. It has a incredible smoky flavor at the very end. That's from 15 years of being in touch with the charcoal sides of the barrel. That's really cool. Anyway, so we're going to be on the road tomorrow. Yes. Tomorrow is wonderful. I love the next stretch of our journey because it's just, I don't want to say it's easy. You don't want to jinx anything, but we make a couple of turns and then it's straight south all day.
Yeah.
Straight to Omaha. We're going to go to Cracker Barrel tomorrow night.
Yeah, I
Is
guess
that what
so.
you want? You love Cracker Barrel.
I do, yeah.
Yeah. Some biscuits and gravy, perhaps?
No, for you. I
Yeah.
just like their biscuits.
Yeah, you do. That's true. So we'll hit Cracker Barrel for supper. We got a hotel booked in Idaho.
No, it's in.
Well, technically it's in Iowa, right?
No, something Bluffs.
Something Bluffs, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lots Project says, smells like someone barbecuing. Ain't nobody got time for that. No, real barbecue would be better, right? So
It's something Bluffs. I can't remember the.
I can't remember either, but yeah, oak smoke. Thank you, Renegade. That's exactly it. It finishes big time with oak smoke. There, see, made me feel more sophisticated. So Omaha, and then Sunday,
Council Bluffs.
Council Bluffs.
Yes,
that's it. One step. I didn't actually realize that it was attached to Omaha, but it's just in the next state, I guess. So yeah, cheaper. The hotels were quite a bit cheaper there.
A lot cheaper. Like Omaha was like they were averaging about 180 to up.
Yeah.
Like even the Holiday Inn or like the Best Western was like $210.
And how much cheaper?
Well, I got us the Best Western in Council Bluffs for I think it was 120.
Right. So I wonder if it's a tax thing, or my guess is a lot of times cities put that what do they call that? Like hotel levy on things? You know,
I don't know. It was a big enough difference that if it's in the same area, I would.
Oh, Renegade! I did not know that. It says Iowa's his old stomping ground. What did you stomp on out there, Renegade? Anything serious or no? I'm just trying to think of what.
No, it was a big enough difference that I would rather stay there than pay the extra $100.
Never even talked about the movie we watched today.
Yes, we did watch a good movie.
Yeah, we really did. So, Stomping Grounds. We saw a trailer for what the hell was that dog movie with Will Ferrell?
Oh, I can't remember what it was called, but it was funny.
It was really funny. So there is if anybody out there knows the name of it right now, a hard R. It's not animated. It's live action film with a dog who him and his owner play a game called Fetch and
Go Fetch and Fuck.
Yeah, Go Fetch and Fuck. So this is how it works. He throws the ball away.
Oh fuck.
Oh fuck. Yes.
Yeah.
Go fetch and oh fuck. So this is how it works. He throws the ball away, tells the dog to go fetch.
No, he drives him.
Yeah, drives him out in the middle of nowhere, leaves him for dead. Throws the ball, runs after the ball, hops in his truck and drives home. 2 hours later, the dog shows up and he says, "Oh fuck." The dog thinks he absolutely loves him. In case you're wondering, hon, Renegade says there's a decent shitty strip club about 3 minutes from the Best Western.
Woohoo.
Oh boy. So yeah, that's where you catch bed bugs.
Yeah. And I imagine you probably catch a lot of other things.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, Renegade did say it was his stomping ground, so he didn't say So anyway, I don't know what it's called. It looks actually quite hilarious. Will Ferrell does the voice of one of the dogs, and I don't know who does the other one. But anyway, that's besides the point. Anybody been to an AMC theater in the last few years?
Oh, they're ridiculous. I remember they were like that in Florida too.
Oh yeah. So we sit down. We're 10 minutes early for the film. We get 10 minutes of a full commercials, just like not like a trailer. It was full on John Travolta singing about Verizon Internet, that kind of shit. It was horrible, but that's fine. Then the movie, the actual start time for the film was 2:30. I look at my phone at 2:56. Commercials and previews were still going. They would play a commercial preview, and that's when the lights went down and the movie was supposed to start. 26 to 27 minutes worth of paid for promotion that we shouldn't have to be watching. The movie finally starts at 3:00 and ends at 3:30. Yes, Tori, you are right. She says she hates commercials at the movies. I can live with commercials before the lights go down, but wow, because if they tell you to be there at 2:30 and they don't start the film till 3:00, I was anyway.
And then that whole sentimental commercial with Nicole Kidman.
Oh, that was such a tone deaf. So you guys got to picture this. So the theaters have been running these commercials because they were scared people weren't going to go back to the movies after COVID. So they're like, what would be a great idea? Let's get a commercial of Nicole Kidman walking through an empty theater talking about how much she loves to go to the theater for the experience.
Because I imagine she's ever been to a theater.
So, yeah, the movie was, no, the trailers were 30 minutes before the movie. Did I say, yeah, he's going to tell me I screwed up on that, Brian. No. So, yeah, so the movie started at 3, ended at 4:30. I said 3:30. Yeah, so the movie was 90 minutes, but before that was 26, 27 minutes of commercials. This commercial was horrible. Nicole Kidman walking through an empty theater, and it felt like, she's like, oh, I'd love to live with the small people and go watch a movie. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to rent out the entire theater so I can watch it by myself. So
none of the small people can can breathe my air.
And I'm going to talk about what an experience it is to go to the cinema with all my fellow peons. It was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, after that, we saw the best horror movie I've seen in a year.
Yeah, no, it was pretty good.
And it was Evil Dead Rises.
Yes.
I think most of the effects were practical.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the end thing had some CGI in there.
I think it did.
It got a little hokey in a couple places.
Yeah.
But they did really good. I'm not going to spoil it, about keeping it in the fog, keeping it out of focus. So it worked because it really, really, really felt like an old school, low budget horror movie, didn't it?
Yeah.
The whole movie takes place in a small apartment on one floor in New York City. It's the complete opposite of the original film that takes place in a small cabin in the woods.
Yeah.
You think it's going to be in a cabin in the woods. I don't want to scare you, but it was as fucking violent and disgusting
and gory
as anything we've seen in a while, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
They pushed the envelope. I'm not sure how they didn't get an NC-17 rating. But it was great. It was fun. Yeah. It was, just...
We don't want to say too much about it because it is just in the theater.
Yes. So most of you probably won't watch it, but I said we got to talk about it. And because if you like gory, well written, here's the thing. The script was the best part. And this is something that pisses me off because in good screenwriting, not that I do that, but I do know a few things about it. If you set something up, it needs to pay off in the end, right? Yeah. If you leave an item on the floor and the camera pans into that item, there needs to be a reason for it later on. It doesn't need to be a red herring. In this, 3 or 4 beats were set up early on and all paid off later on.
Yeah.
And really, really intelligently. You could tell they spent a lot of time. So it was great. It wasn't just like that stupid remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
That was horrible. It was gory, but they spent 4 minutes on the script.
Yeah.
You know?
No, it was good.
This one did homage to the original.
And I went in with really, really low expectations.
I went in with 0. Yeah. I assumed this is an April horror movie based on a previous, piece of work that existed.
Well, and we were just looking for a way to waste the afternoon.
Yeah, we figured, it's a horror movie based on something we already know, an existing property. That's what I'm looking for. And holy shit, was it ever entertaining?
Yeah, it was.
And I didn't look up any reviews before we went. Yeah. And it was 85% certified fresh from Rotten Tomatoes. And I come out of it knowing, I'm like, that was the most well-written horror movie I've seen in years. And I hadn't
watched any of the previews either.
Right, neither had I.
Because I know they're on TikTok and stuff. And as soon as it came on, I would just flip through it because I didn't want to watch any of them.
Because the only thing we knew, it said, all I knew was something about Mummy, right? Because the tagline said Mummy's here, Mummy something or other. I don't know. But other than that, I didn't know. And it was, so if you're a horror movie fan, holy shit, was that a good film?
Yeah, no, go and watch it.
Yeah, absolutely. So Renegade says he was born in Iowa. State used to be part of my territory as a service tech. Been in about every town. So he went from, stomping around strip clubs in Iowa to beating his meat in Texas. So I mean, hey, he's a meat expert. I'm just saying that's what he does now. So we're gonna hit the road tomorrow, and then Sunday we're gonna be in Camden, Tennessee. Yes, and
as long as everything pans out.
Well, that's true. I don't want to ever presuppose because I really didn't expect to get the worst driving weather.
Well, I'm hoping we won't run into any more crappy weather going down.
No. Well, I mean,
you never know, right?
Yeah, I mean, we could hit rain or heavy winds, but
is it this time of season too where they start getting like tornadoes and stuff in that area?
I don't know if anybody. Yeah, I think it's possible. I think there's been
in Iowa.
Well, there's been a bunch of bad tornadoes already, so yeah, I think it could be possible. But yeah, so who knows? Maybe we'll hop on for another impromptu live tomorrow night. It all depends. Don't guarantee. I have all kinds of pre-recorded stuff out there for you guys. And Renegade says it all checks out as far as what he does in Texas now. So well, it'll be good. If we have time, we might pop on tomorrow night, and if not, you guys will get a pre-recorded episode in the podcast feed. So Ready to call her a night, Mrs. Cook?
Yeah.
You look like you're falling asleep here.
No, I'm
no,
good.
it's not bad. Yeah. But yeah, did we lose an hour or gain an hour coming into? Yeah, so
It's 8:30 now.
yeah, and 7:30 Alberta
7:30,
time
yeah,
right
Alberta
now.
time.
Yeah. So guys, thanks for coming on with us. This was fun. We'll hopefully fill you in on the next, in the day or two. If we don't, Renegades at Oklahoma got rocked with tornadoes.
Yeah. So do they have like seasons like hurricane? Like it only hits at certain times?
I believe so. Josh or anybody else out there, I know it's getting longer, but when does tornado season kind of start? I assume we're in the middle of it now because
wasn't sure.
It goes from lukewarm in Texas to hotter than Hades, right? So, but if not, you can text me in the Telegram group as well. But I don't know. I wouldn't want to have to deal with some of those nasty tornadoes, So anyway, guys, thanks, Tori, you have a good night, and thanks One Step Closer for safe travels. It's all we can do, right?
Yeah.
Stay happy, stay healthy, and have a great week, guys. Everything's slower. There we go.